What is up, everybody, and welcome back to what I believe is episode 9 of this Haas career. It's been quite a while since I've done an episode. I think it's been about a week and a half now, but I do have an excuse. Been working quite a lot, doing some school, and also started up Twitch again. So if you guys wanted to watch me stream on Twitch, there's a link in the description, and also for the rest of this series, I'm actually going to be doing it on Twitch. I'll still try and upload on YouTube as well, but the plan is to do the episodes on Twitch and then edit from Twitch and put that on YouTube. So the episodes are going to look a little different in the future, but it just makes my life a lot easier if I can do it that way. That way, while I'm streaming, get part of this done, and then after I'm done, just edit it quickly and put it on YouTube. And it'll just make my life a lot easier. That way I won't have to, commentate over it at the end. I might do it once in a while, but I'm going to do it like this, see how it goes in the future. So this is going to be the last video kind of like this for this series before I switch it up. But yeah, I'm just going to see how it goes. But anyway, we're back on the episode. We're just getting some upgrades in because we're actually going to be at our home Grand Prix. We're going to be in Great Britain, Silverstone, one of my favourite tracks on the game, also one of my favourite tracks to watch in real life. So it's going to be good fun to race around here. And you can see I'm having a bit of problems with my contract. They wouldn't give me it was a high risk contract I went for, I think, both times. They wouldn't give me it. So to keep the series alive, I had to obviously go for the low risk one, so that they'll re-sign me. But I was surprised that they didn't give it a high risk, considering I've got like 10 points for the team already this season, and Mazepin is constantly finishing at the back. So you thought they would have given me the money I had asked, but I guess not. I guess they wanted to give me the least amount as possible, because I guess Haas ain't making as much as the other teams. But anyway, we got all the upgrades in, and we're going to go off to Silverstone. I'm usually pretty good around here. It's a fun track to drive, that's for sure, but just knowing our car and where it is based compared to the other cars around this track, it's going to get exposed. Like, I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to fight with the top teams. You can see in qualifying there, we're already struggling a bit. P18, it's unlike us. It's 7/10 clear of our teammate, but it's still P18, which just shows how far off the pace we are and how long it's going to take before this car is even going to be a title competing car. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 more seasons. And so this series is just all about patience, really, just picking up the points. And these points are very important, because if we can push our way to the midfield and get higher and higher up, then the team will get more money and they can upgrade stuff quicker, which is what we need. So then we can get to that title winning car sooner rather than later. And you can see on that second lap we only improved by a couple tenths. Wasn't anything special. Down in P18 you got us behind both Alfa Romeos and George Russell actually getting into Q2. So not an ideal qualifying, but P18 at our home Grand Prix, we're going to see what we can do.
British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Tsunoda, and Esteban Ocon, Vettel, Stroll, George Russell, and Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, and Stevens. Mazepin, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
So quite a few drivers getting penalties there, but because we qualified so far down, we stay in P18, which is a bit disappointing. It would have been nice to get boosted up a couple of positions. I think it was Ricciardo and Gasly getting penalties. But nope, unfortunately we didn't move up. But here we are in our home Grand Prix. We're going to start on the medium tyres, 5 red lights, and away we go. And we get a decent start considering we're on the mediums. We stay ahead of Latifi and our teammate Nikita Mazepin, we're the only driver on the medium tyres back here. So, yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Little switch up of strategy as we go down the inside of a McLaren. You know, it doesn't matter where you are on the grid. If you're fighting a McLaren, you're doing something right. And we get around the outside, and we're going to have a go at the Alfa Romeo here. So it's not a bad start, especially on the medium compound tyre. If we can try and stay with the cars ahead later on in the race, this is going to come really, really good for us. If we can put on the softs and just turn this race around, and we're going to end up giving up this fight on the McLaren driver, Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian, who just had his home Grand Prix in real life. He's going to be too fast for us, especially at this stage. I think McLaren is still like the 4th fastest car in this series, so he should be getting through the field pretty fast indeed, as he's going side by side with the Alfa Romeo up there. And we're just going to see what we can do. No expectations really for this race. Just last the mediums for as long as possible, and then maybe hope for a safety car, because the pit stop is very long around here. So who knows? Maybe we could get something nice, but it looks very unlikely, the pace that we showed in qualifying, and also like the race pace we showed in practice that I did earlier. So and you could already see, moving on a couple laps, we're already losing pace to the cars up ahead. They're just too fast really for us. And we've got our teammate Nikita Mazepin closing on us. I think that says everything. I think Latifi got damage on lap 1 and he had to pit, and that's why he is 35 seconds behind. But Mazepin, we're just going to end up letting go. No point holding him up. He's on the softer tyres, which is going to be about half a second quicker than us right now. So we're going to see if he can drag us along a little bit to try and catch up to this bunched up group ahead. And if you look down the bottom left on the mini-map, you could see the massive gap between this group up ahead and then the car ahead. So already points is looking unlikely. Praying for a safety car already. If we are going to get some points, maybe a change of weather, but it didn't look like it on the forecast. So it's just see how well we can do. You can see Sebastian Vettel up ahead, and he's actually struggling. So he's been reported to have a problem with his car, and look at all these cars overtaking him. You got Williams going around the outside, for goodness sake. So yeah, not an ideal Sunday for Vettel, but that's good news for us, because the more cars that have problems, more places we can go up. And who knows, a couple DNFs, and we could be hovering around P10, P11, and pushing for some points. So yeah, that's fantastic news for us, as our teammate is now going to go side by side through Meggetts and Beckett's. I don't know how there was no contact there or damage. I thought there would have been something, but we've managed to get right in the tail of Vettel coming down this main straight because of his compromised line through Meggetts and Beckett's. And look at that, 5-6 cars passing Vettel in about 5-6 corners. So serious problems for the 4-time world champion. He's struggling with the car right now as we go side by side, and we've got him down the inside. So that's that move done. We were up in the P18, and while that happened, we managed to close on up, and I think that's the Williams of George Russell. Yes, so the Williams of George Russell has gone out of the race. We had to take a void in action, which has helped us get ahead of Nikita Mazepin. No safety car though. They don't deem that a dangerous spot for some reason. But we did manage to get ahead of our teammate, and you're going to see it here. So George Russell, his engine just loses it, and we have to go way around the outside, get back on the track, and we get ahead of our teammate, and FIA seemed no problem with that. I mean, there's nowhere else I could really go, to be honest. I had to avoid it, otherwise I'm going straight into the gearbox of George Russell, and both cars are out. So we took avoiding action, we got on through, and now on to lap 9. I believe Ricciardo now has a problem with his car, so a lot of cars having problems. I guess it's at that stage of the season, maybe they're just not changing their car parts, they just don't want to take penalties, or maybe they're just seriously having problems at this stage. So but it's good to see a McLaren and an Aston Martin having problems, because those are two cars we would probably never even fight if it wasn't for their engines failing, and we're going to go down the inside of McLaren, and this is weird for us. We're not used to fighting the McLarens. I mean, we had it one race this season in Austria where we were almost fighting them pretty much. I don't know where that pace came from in that one race, but we found something incredible there. And now we're having a P15 on the medium tyres after only 10 laps. So we're going to put on these softs, and we're going to be a lot faster than the cars on the mediums, and we could really push on up here. So it's looking like a strong race for us at our home Grand Prix, and we're up in a P10 now. Still not made our pit stop. A bunch of cars have, hence why we're up into the points. We won't be here for very long. We've got Leclerc behind us, we've got Gasly behind us. They're all going to pass us in the pit stop. Especially as the pit stop is, I think, around like 29 seconds around here, 30 seconds. It's one of the longest pit stops on the F1 calendar. So, not pitting yet. You can see just past the finish line now is the Alfa Romeos, and that's roughly around where we're going to come out. So it's going to be around 35 seconds away from the points. So we have to almost hope for a safety car to save us this race. But, you know, I came into this race weekend not even looking at points, to be honest. I was just trying to get the best finish possible because points seemed so far away. And it makes me think, where was this pace in Austria? How did we find this pace? And I think it was just the straight line speed because of the two really long straights is what saved us. But I have no idea. We found some tremendous pace there. We were faster than Alpines, for God's sake, like the Alpines, Aston Martins, and we found our way to the points. And coming out of the pit stop, you can see there we almost touched the wall. That would have not been ideal. But we're going to come out just ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who has had his problems fixed, so he is going to be a little faster now. And on these soft tyres, it might be our saving grace to stay ahead of the Aston Martin. With only 9 laps to go, we're able to push these tyres as much as we want. And we're going to push on to see if we can catch the 2 Alphas and Daniel Ricciardo up ahead, which means P13 is on the cards. Now, if a safety car came out now, it would be perfect time because we'll be on fresh softs, all the other cars on old mediums. But even on these fresh softs, you're going to see we can't even hold up Sebastian Vettel. He is just too quick for us in that car. And it's been a bit of a strugglesome weekend. We're only 4 seconds ahead of our teammate, and for us, that's not very good. We're usually a lot more, and now you can see we're about 13, 14 seconds ahead, which is more like it. But I feel like Mazepin actually had a half decent race to start with, and then he kind of let it slide. But we're just hanging on the back of the tail of this group ahead with 3 laps to go, or 3.5 laps to go. We got to try and make a move soon. So Ricciardo managed to get past the 2 Alphas, but P13 is on the cards as Giovinazzi and Kimi Räikkönen are up ahead. So we're going to see what we can do coming down into this main straight, as Vettel and Giovinazzi, they're going to go side by side, which is going to be perfect for us. It's going to compromise their line. So as we come around, Beckett's here, we're going to get down to the main straight, and we've got a great run in the Aston Martin. We're going to go round the outside. We're not going to get close enough to the Alfa Romeo, but around the outside of the Aston Martin, we need to get this move done this lap so that we can push on the next lap on the 2 Alphas. And we're going side by side, wheel to wheel. It's fantastic racing. I don't know how we didn't make contact, but we are up into P15. We are 2 places away from P13, which would be a tremendous result. No safety car this race, in a race that we kind of really needed one to make it more exciting for us and give us a chance. But nevertheless, we're in a little battle with the Alfa Romeos right here. A team that we have fighted in the Constructors, but they are still yet to score a point, I think. Or maybe they have 2 points from an earlier race. But we're going to try and go around the outside of Giovinazzi here. We're not going to get it done. But we are right on the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo. Can we get around the outside of the Italian driver? We are going to go for a move around the outside, which is going to turn into the inside of the next corner. And look at that. We've got more grip on these softer tyres. We've got the inside line now. We've got it done. And coming into Copse, we are close enough to Kimi Räikkönen that we can maybe make the move down the main straight. And if we can get that done, we can say it's been a tremendous race from us, and it's a tremendous comeback drive, really, more than anything. So we're about 7 tenths behind, so it's going to be very, very close. We've got to have a tremendous Maggots and Beckett's to close up on that Alfa Romeo. We are going to get DRS, remember, so as we come through, a little bit of a twitch, but we get out onto the grass, and we lost a car coming out, trying to push too much. We got on the throttle too fast, too early, and we just stayed on the grass for too long as well, really. I was trying everything I can, trying to find a little bit of a cheat, like cheating on the grass a little bit to try and get a better line coming out of that final corner, but the car just wouldn't stick, obviously. Getting on the throttle too early. I should have came over more and trust that the DRS would get us close enough to the Alfa Romeo to make the overtake. But it is what it is. We put in a good race. P16, I can't be too mad for pushing at the end, trying to push for that P13, because you always want to finish as high as you can in racing. But it is what it is. Driver of the day goes to Pierre Gasly. I think we might have got it if we did end up getting P13. But it wasn't a bad race, but a bit disappointing that we are so far off the pace still in this Haas car 9 races in.
How do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Further ahead in the standings.
So there you have it. Sergio Perez winning the race, Max Verstappen P2, and Hamilton actually getting on the podium. So he needed that result. He's been a bit off the pace so far this season. I was down in P16 with our teammate in P17, and that's only because Leclerc ended up retiring. Same with George Russell, and Latifi got wing damage on lap 1. So realistically, we're at the very back, pace-wise, to every other car, which is disappointing still. I was hoping we'd be a little further up, especially showing the positive signs in Austria. In the driver's standing, Perez is still leading with Max Verstappen and Bottas close behind, and Hamilton is just still so far off the pace in that Mercedes. We're in P14, putting in a strong showing with 10 points. Our teammate's still yet to get a single point this season. I doubt he'll get one at all this season, but we're showing well. We're carrying this Haas team. P8 in the constructors, and that might be the best we can do. I want to try and push on to Aston Martin, but if we're going to do that, we seriously need to find more pace in the car. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.